and debating whether that was right and anytime we get to that point, or when we start to entertain public comment and then we feel obligated to answer the public back about these items, then they become more of an agenda item than they actually are. It's really just
try to explain the rules, that's all.
Do you want to cover Randy's report?
Yes. Randy is out sick today and unfortunately wasn't able to be here to present his report. The one thing that is a little bit exciting to start talking about is some of the maintenance that's going on out there in the field, and the fact that we're using some of the water for flushing. We're coming up with a system to better account for the amount of water used in the flushing, and that will be, when I update the leakage report for next month, I'll have that number in there. You'll see that in the center of the spreadsheet. On any time we do any flushing, we're going to have a flushing log so that we know how much water is going out for that, so we don't think that it's system leaks. Again, a lot of time was spent in operation of the plant. I can't explain to you the difference between the 2.5, 3 hours of time and the time that it's one full-time employee to operate the treatment plant. That's not just one employee and nobody else working in. It's a matter of rotating, and that's an estimated amount of hours for each of the employees in total. And again, remember, this is a little bit unusual because we've got the hours that he's claiming there are also the hours for the new employee who's not yet certified but has to operate with someone who's certified. So for them to learn the treatment plant, they've got somebody looking over their shoulders. So that's two hours for one in reality. The other thing that was completed was the injection line for the caustic soda. That line has always been a pain in the neck. It was not shown on any of the drawings. It was when the lime room was decommissioned. It used to be hydrated lime that was mixed into a slurry and then pumped in to the effluent water because our water is very soft, and which means it's aggressive on the asbestos cement pipes. We switched to caustic soda, which is easier to feed, but it also builds up as a salt inside the pipe. If there's not enough water flow from the booster pump moving it into the system, it'll plug up. And it plugged up, and they didn't know where it was, and so they've been digging for months trying to locate that. But that has been completed with a new line, and it's functioning. And pretty much with the wells, it took us a while to get the meters all connected to the SCADA and to get the programming done on the SCADA, and then incorporating in the additional work that Aquacira was doing to get rid of the PLCs, or the programmable logic controllers, that were no longer needed. And so we should be able to just hit print on reports related to the wells to show the production for the month, and just know that the Medina well and well 5 are on the same power meter. And so we have an hour meter to show the difference. We have to do a calculation there based on the pump run hours. It was a money-saving effort to not have a separate SCADA station on that well. But they've got separate meters and a pump hour meter so that we can calculate the run hours and the amount of power.
So where you're on the PG&E power bill for the wells, you're just dividing whatever number was between the two.
Right, and then we can look at the number of run hours also and make sure that's
separately.
Yeah. So, and again, did a little bit of weed control around the fire hydrants and all that, and I'm sure the weeds are going to continue to grow as long as there's rain and cool weather. It's going to continue to grow, but doing maintenance around this place too, trying to get it under control and cleaned up. So that's pretty much about all I can report at this point.
Number 3, and then I'll put it for the gym. You went through a process of cleaning water. The last thing you talked about in cleaning the water was dilution. Can you tell me what you mean by dilution? This is well water.
Related to the nitrates?
Nitrates and the arsenic you spoke of.
Would be the dilution is the surface water.
It's surface water, okay? So it requires surface water. Okay, second thing, number 4, to keep the confusion away, last week when I was involved with the discussion, I was talking about the audit and the accounting system. None of this has to do with anything that I was talking about. Nothing wrong with having the accountants come in, but it had nothing to do with that, what we were talking about at that point in time. Another question here on the worksheet you just gave us. Okay, there's $79,000 in here in administrative costs. There happens to be a $79,000 bill for Kennedy Jenks on the wells also. This wouldn't be the same invoice being billed to grantors 2 times, would it?
Absolutely not. No, the $79,000 that's billed to the IRWIMP program is the amount for the grant application preparation. And the State Department of Water Resources or the State Water Resources Control Board would first off not receive that invoice from us. We would not send it at the grant application preparation invoice to them for reimbursement first. Second, they would not authorize reimbursement for an unauthorized expense under the program.
Okay. In the wells, I don't know the exact numbers that went into the wells. In the expense that we call drought expense that included the wells, there is a $79,000 bill approximately this same time to Kennedy Jenks that was in that drought expense. Now, that would not be the same $79,000 period. We would never bill a grantor twice.
We can't.
So we won't mind asking. So there'd be no
It
objections.
doesn't matter how
There'd be no objections to me asking for those 2 invoices.
Absolutely not.
Good, thank you.
It's a public record, but I can assure the board that there is no way that it is humanly possible that the state would authorize the payment of an invoice for an expense that was not included in the budget, and it was never, the grant application preparation was never included in any of the well budgets. It was never part of the wells, and it was always anticipated that it was going to be billed to the IRWIMP if it was successful, and it has been, and now it's being reimbursed, and I think it's really an excellent thing that they're reimbursing us for. And plus, they can always do an audit, and that's sometimes what they do on the grant funds.
Any other clarifying questions on the report?
I have 2 questions. Number 1, who inspects and approves the contractor's work?
On which part again?
Any work that outside contractor does.
You know, like when fixing a pipe or something, that kind of stuff?
Any, doesn't make any difference, whatever, whether we have outside contractors who inspect his or her work and approves it. And the other question is, why the outside place of use is missing from the packet?
I don't know if I sent it over, if I
I never did see it.
didn't. Okay, because I probably forgot to send it over.
So what's the answer to my
I can
first
put
question?
both- You'll see both months in next packet, and I'll have
So, is he asking
I
that
mean,
some guy
it's not-
out in the
it's-
field
it's-
inspects what's happening and signs off?
Well, it depends on what the board wants to do. If we want, there was nothing included in the packet about construction management or construction inspections or any of that kind of stuff. If we want to go into what does the district do related to construction inspections, we can either put it on the agenda
Well,
or,
for consistency purposes, what we're trying to do, I think that is the wisest thing. If you're okay with that, Victor, we
Oh,
will,
yes.
we'll have it on for next
But
month.
the reason for that was asked by the insurance company.
Okay. It will, I'm writing people's questions down. I'm getting quite a few, so,
All right, thank you.
thank you. And the outside place use, I think we've covered for you. Okay.
Is that still required by MID?
Pardon me?
MID originally required monthly reports on the outside place of use. Is that still required by MID?
I'm assuming it is, if that was a requirement of the contract.
They don't ask us for that.
You're not aware of that,
they
huh?
don't ask.
No, but it was in the letter to us by MID, said it was essential that every month they have an accurate accounting
We
of the
have it.
outside place of use.
We have it.
Okay, so you do send it to MID or
We
you
have
don't?
we have the report.
Yeah, but so you're not sending it to MID then?
Just confirm.
Why do you look at her? You're the
Because
GM.
I don't send, that comes out of the office.
Well, you prepared the
We're-
agenda and
we're
it's not in
continuing
here,
to
so.
go off of the agenda as far as we can
I'm
go.
writing the question down. I'll make sure it's on next month that.
Great, thank you. Appreciate it.
This report covers, what we're communicating to MIT.
Right, and along with that is, what is our policy on outside place of use serve? I asked that months ago. I can't find it in any of our policies on why, Merced water entitled customers must subsidize water outside our district place of use under the license. I still don't understand that. I've asked that question, 4, 5, 6, 7 years and never had an adequate answer. And I'd like to know, how can you force
Okay.
the majority of customers to pay for a special benefit? I don't understand it.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item 4, which is